Welcome to Decentralized TV. I'm Mike Adams, the founder of Brighteon, the free speech video platform. And of course, my co-host, Todd Pittner, is joining us today. Welcome, Todd. It's great to have you on again. So much fun to do this with you.
It is so awesome. It's Friday. I've been waking up every day asking, is this Friday? And of course it wasn't. But this morning, man, I scored.
I know.
And look at this, Mike.
What? Oh,
I'm wearing our decentralized TV.
I love it.
Shirt.
You do.
It's
you have
awesome.
the new shirt. Yeah, very cool. I've got all the mugs and the hats and everything on the desk over here from our partners, redpillprints.com. They're offering this gear.
And if you go /DTV, you'll come right to all of our products.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. And anyway, we'll get back to them later. Let's not keep our guest waiting because he's a living legend. I mean,
yes, he
this
is.
guest is truly, this is a huge thing to have him on the show. And he's with a project called Zano, or ZANO.org. And I have to just make sure I get his last name correct, but it's Andrey Sabelnikov. And he was involved in the CryptoNote project many years ago. He is considered a living legend in cryptography and lead development of these projects. And he joins us now on Decentralized TV. Welcome, Andrey. It's an honor to have you on the show.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. Hi.
Well, hello, and thank you for taking the time to join us. We greatly appreciate it. And I would say let's first give people a background. You know, if they're not deep into cryptography and crypto projects, they may not be aware of your work. So could you give us a brief background of sort of who you are and what you've been involved with and how you came to the Zano project that we're talking about today?
I've been working on a blockchain development for the last 10 years. I've been invited into the project that called CryptoNote as a lead developer. This project became the basis for I think a few hundreds privacy-focused projects later.
Yeah. It's like the grandfather project of what is now privacy coins.
Yeah, including Monero, the biggest and the most successful, I would say. And then after controversial launching of the Bitcoin, the project name, branded name was Bitcoin, I left the company and I was working on the project of my own. It's called Bullberry. And then I found a co-founder, and we found the guys who was happy to support our work. We did the new project, did the coin swap, and that's how Zano happened. Like this Zano started launched 5 years ago.
So tell us about.
Long story short.
That was quite succinct. Thank you for that. Then tell us, if you would, about Zano, and I'm going to bring up the website for people, Zano.org. Secure, scalable, easy to use. What are the key properties of Zano, which is new to me, by the way. I had not heard of Zano, until just recently, getting you on.
Yeah, we've been under radar for a quite long time, and well, that's easy. That's evolution of my work. Originally, my work. Now it's a team. It's our work. I'm not even the key person right now in the project from technical perspective. We have a really long story, and that started like 10 years ago. And perception of what cryptocurrency should be, what properties it also, like for my own, it was evolved. And I think Zano is my current vision of our team, what privacy project can be, what privacy cryptocurrency can do. So we're trying to build and we're trying to extend the boundaries of potential of privacy projects. It's not private. Right now, it's not only private transactions. We introducing with our latest development, we're introducing private tokens inside the transaction. We introducing absolutely private proof of stake. and we will continue to innovate. So
wow, so private proof of stake. I mean, that sounds difficult to achieve.
Yeah, it was difficult actually, and we're really proud of this. And we built this with the help of Core, the guy who is now lead developer of lead researcher. I don't know what his title of Monero, but 2 years ago, I think 2 years ago, we hired him as a reviewer for initial version of our private proof of stake work. He found some problems, but he was so active. He was throwing new ideas. He was helping us. He was doing active contributions. So we asked him to become a co-author of the co-author of the paper. So it's not only Zano team. We also got help from Core, who is a part of Monero.
So Zano, is this a project that right now people can go out and exchange for Zano coins? And you have, wallets for all the platforms, GUI wallets or command line wallets, or what do you have?
Traditionally we have all this stuff.
Okay.
We have a mobile application in Android and iOS. We have a desktop application that can be downloaded from the website. We have very few exchanges because for many reasons it's really hard to get listed right now. You need billions of money, like tons of money, or especially being privacy project is also a lot of exchanges hesitate to list privacy projects. So that's one of the reasons actually why we built our own infrastructure and trying to build decentralized technologies for where all projects, including privacy ones, can build liquidity by themselves without centralized exchanges.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So we live in a world right now, and by the way, Todd, you can jump in anytime. I don't mean to dominate this, but
dominate away.
Well,
I know you'll give me.
You again, jump in anytime. But we live in a world right now of incredible financial surveillance, and I would call it authoritarianism, especially in the Western world, where you've got the Western banks that are now saying that you can't even bank with us unless we agree with everything you say and everything you do and all this nonsense. So more and more people are looking for privacy in their finances. What role can Zano help play then in people's lives of achieving privacy in their financial behaviors or assets or transactions? Like, how do you see Zano filling that role for people, even maybe versus Monero? Like, what does Zano do that Monero doesn't do, for example? Because people are very familiar with Monero.
Yeah, it's not, I don't want to keep the narrative like versus Monero.
Right.
I don't think it's a good way, because we are trying to work together right now the last year. So it's not versus, we just, we have our own direction that we follow, and how we can help is very easy. Actually, that's what we do. We try to build the technologies that can give basically anyone who is having the token. We want to provide a possibility to use Zano as an environment, as a privacy environment, so they can transact inside Zano privately with their own tokens. What doesn't matter what is it, USDT or Binance token or DAI, whatever, like stable token, doesn't matter. Rapid coins doesn't really matter. So what we're trying to do is, by building these confidential assets, is to give other projects, other entities opportunity to transact privately.
So are you saying that there's an exchange built into the wallet, or are you saying that the Zano tech allows all these other tokens to be built on top of it, or both of those things?
Yeah, that's what we do. It's not in the mainnet, but that's what we do, and that's what is already running in the testnet. That's the core of our new technology. We built, just to make it clear, we built two important things during the last 2 years. We invented two important things during the last 2 years. The first thing is something that we call Arcanum. It's proof of stake with hidden amounts without revealing any sensitive information, including amount of the staked coins. Before that, it was even considered as impossible. We were reading different threads on the Reddit, and there was an answer that it's not possible to build a proof of stake on top of hidden amounts. But luckily, we have a guy in our team, Val, who managed to build this technology with the help of Core, of course. They did this together. The second technology that we also built, also Val invented this, is confidential assets. This is a technology that create. There was a bunch of projects that did something before, but they did it in a little bit naive form. They created a subsets of different tokens inside the privacy chain. So you can see that what type of token transaction is sending, but you cannot see addresses. You cannot see the amounts. What we created is actually looking into the transaction. You cannot say how much money was sent. You cannot say who was sender. You cannot say who was receiver. And you cannot say what type of token was sent. Was it native assets? Was it some token? Doesn't matter. You cannot see this information. At the same time, Core validate everything through the math and guarantee the consistency of all the transactions.
Wow.
That's it. That's what we doing.
That's a huge deal. That's a lot. Todd, I know you want to jump in. Go for it.
Well, my question's kind of a long one. There's a little bit of build up to it, so forgive me on that. But Andrey, personally, being a huge fan of private crypto, I must say it is an honor to be able to have you on, and you are a legend. And thanks for joining Mike and me on decentralized.tv. So I've done a good bit of research. Yes, you're welcome. I've done a good bit of research prepping for this interview, and I'd like to go into the Wayback Machine and educate our audience a bit on how instrumental you have personally been to preserve our digital privacy. So, Andrey, according to my notes, CryptoNote was the first privacy-centric protocol developed by the mysterious Nicholas von Saberhagen, who invented untraceable digital transaction technology. Do I have that right?
Yep.
Okay, CryptoNote sparked the features that are currently present in the Monero network and much, much more. And as I understand it, you were there as a developer from the beginning. So from CryptoNote to Bitcoin to Monero and now Zano. And I think you had Blueberry in there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's important to mention that it wasn't just a privacy-centric protocol. It was the first project that was built from scratch. No one ever did it before.
Not off of BTC.
Yeah, we didn't fork anything. And by the time when we was doing this, we didn't know how big the whole thing is. We didn't know how much effort it will take, and how much pressure it put on everything, on every team member. And we built the whole new code base, and I think we did a really great job because we found that the new architecture for the project that was worked really good. We created the whole unit testing environment that also used by Monero. So Monero is using the same code base. They originate from the same code base from CryptoNote, and they use it the same way. They kept the architecture, and I believe that's also really, I mean, maybe I'm too proud about this because that was part of my contribution, but I really believe because we were looking at the way Bitcoin was coded, and for me, it was like, for me, my perception was the way it was coded is what coded not by developer, but it was coded more like by a mathematician or someone who not really experienced in coding. That there was a talented cryptographers who was doing this, but coding and building architecture of software, it's a little bit different thing. So we we fixed this. I believe we fixed this. We created very different network protocol that gives you opportunity to evolve the protocol, so you can add new features with having backward and forward capability. And this was it's really important for network application. And the whole CryptoNote project is based on the first of all, it uses modern C++ design, and it's based on handmade serialization that was created specifically for this project. And that's like it makes like when you do the coding, it makes a lot of sense because it's save you from a lot of like errors. So I believe the CryptoNote, beside the like absolutely brilliant ideas from cryptographic perspective, it also created a really great architecture for the future improvements of the technology itself.
Well, don't mind me jumping in here, Andrey. I know from listening to a lot of developers on Monero that with their next rollout, Seraphis and so on, they're talking about the benefits of the modularity in the architecture of the code, right? And and also Firo, Ruben's talked about that too, a lot of modularity. And I think that's some of what you're talking about too, where if you have the correct architecture, then it makes upgrades in cryptography or changes in the code base so much easier down the road because they're kind of like blocks that you plug in to an existing system. And does that sound accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's even it's not even modular system, which is also absolutely great. It also a lot of things that exist in the code from many different perspectives. I don't know how to explain it without diving into technical terms, but it's more about the culture of coding. It's also very important that if you have the team has a very high culture of coding, the next generation of developers will have a less headaches with transforming this project into something new. With the new changes, they will have less problems with the old code base. So, yeah, I think that's what it is about.
Well, that's really fascinating, especially your comments about Bitcoin being coded more by mathematicians rather than
it was way back ago, like 2013. Right now, I believe they do pretty amazing job. But when you was watching the way it was coded, like in 2012, 2013, it was like more like I would call it old school C style, not C++, but C style coding.
Wow.
And this is also this is old school, and a lot of cryptographers prefer to use C, except like they like C, not C++, and that's just a weird tradition which I never understood. But that's it. And in a Bitcoin code, I saw a lot of artifacts that I would never do in my code base. So that was one of the reasons why we decided not to take a single line from Bitcoin code base, because we want to build from scratch, from the whole new thing, to make it more reliable.
Well, it probably tells you. Go ahead, Todd.
Andrey, I was just going to, as I understand it, crypto was launched with the primary mission to fix Bitcoin's fungibility problem, right? Can you just speak to what you feel Bitcoin's fungibility problem is? Or at least that's what I read.
That's first of all, I want to mention that I wasn't the guy behind the philosophy of CryptoNote. I was hired as a developer. I had a very minimal understanding of crypto by that time. So most of the philosophic ideas and motivation for creating CryptoNote was coming from Nicholas. He was the guy who understood the need of creating a project like that. So yeah, he was
your mentor, right?
Yeah. At the beginning, he I think during the the whole year he was educating me constantly.
Wow.
And even after I quit, I kept consulting with him about literally everything.
I have to, and sorry, Mike, I'm just going to ask this last question. I want the juicy stuff, Andrey. Okay.
Sure.
So Nicholas was your mentor, so you obviously know him very well, and you continued the relationship.
Yeah.
Now, as I understand it, both Nicholas and Satoshi Nakamoto seem to vanish without a trace. So, Andrey, my question, and I think you would know, what did Nicholas and Satoshi do to piss off the Clintons? They were disappeared.
Well, Nicholas
Right?
didn't disappear. He's still around, but he just don't want to be on the spotlight. But he is around.
I see.
I even tried to convince him to come to Maneratopia,
cool.
incognito.
Well, that would have been something.
Okay, so he just withdrew just because he could, and what he gave birth to was just he's a proud papa. He just wants to see him grow up.
There was a founder of the project, and we were just working as a team, including Nicholas. We were it was like a company where we were hired, and yeah.
Okay, all right. Is that a good enough answer, Todd, or you want to?
Yeah,
is there something deeper?
That's a fine answer. No, nothing deeper. It was just I had to slip in the Clinton joke. That was it.
Okay, all right. Well, okay. Let me take us to another practical question then, which is the fact that almost all the privacy coins that we know about that we cover on the show are proof of work coins, including Monero. And yet you've chosen proof of stake. And so what I'm curious is the positioning of Zano and what proof of stake as your choice or your project's choice, what you believe that means for the applications of Zano or, resilience against, consensus attacks or things like that. Why proof of stake, and how do you think that changes the applications of the project itself?
Yeah, that's a good question. And first of all, I said it many times that Zano used proof of stake not to motivate people to hold coins, not to motivate them stake it. The only reason why Zano used proof of stake is because the only way to, at this moment, the only way I know to secure transaction history. And we we spoke with many teams, and we always invite anyone who wants to have a discussion about proof of stake versus proof of work. And we even had a few discussions that was technical guys coming, and we had a lot of arguing with them. All arguments are always the same. And we even had on Maneratopia, we had a panel, proof of stake versus proof of work. And there was a few guys, even Peter Todd was there. And all the arguments was from 2014, a lot of people perception of proof of stake for a lot of people is connected with the confusion that proof of stake is something related to banks because it also pay you some percentage. But I don't even know how to explain how wrong it is. Proof of stake it's just a consensus algorithm that secure your transaction history, and that's very simple it's absolutely simple to convince anyone who is listening, because if you take a few projects as example and you calculate the cost of double spend attack, you will see that the proof of work it was a good start, but it's a weak point of every pure proof of work project. It's a weak point.
I share this concern. I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is of all the things that we cover on this show, I am very frequently concerned about proof of work attacks and how inexpensive they are to mount against small projects.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the reason why we do this, because I've been there. I launched my first project, Bulberry, was a pure proof of work. And I saw how easy it is to, there was different attacks, and I saw how I was doing calculation. I saw, because I was speaking with investors. Most of our investors, the big ones, we know personally. We met them in the different countries, and I mean, we are. I mean, I don't know how I would look into their eyes and see everything is okay if we have a weak consensus, right? And it was really clear that proof of work doesn't give you enough power. And even for a big project, they still don't realize it because they're big and they are in a relatively safe area as a big project, but they will have these problems sooner or later. And pure proof of work is, I think it's pure proof of work projects will be over like in the next decade. You will not see any proof of work projects.
That's a huge prediction. I mean, that's...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about this. No project that's taken seriously will kept proof of work, because it's super easy to mathematically prove that the cost of attack is very cheap. And also the other problem that a lot of people had a confusion about proof of stake, that proof of stake it's equal to centralization, because they see the way it made in Ethereum, for example. And also I keep repeating that there is a different model of implementing proof of stake. And for example, the model that we have in Zano, it doesn't have any dedicated validators. Everyone, even you have a small fraction of coins, you have a chances to build a block. Everyone can build a block, and we call it probabilistic model. So it's
so yeah, it's kind of rotating the authority.
Yeah, it works similar to proof of work, but you use not the hardware that you buy, but you use your coins. The same, absolutely same approach. That's
so. What about and maybe these are the same old criticisms against proof of stake, but let me just verbalize what I'm sure our audience is asking, and what's in my mind too. I think Todd, you would ask this too, but yeah, the concerns that we've always had about proof of stake are that a project, there could be a lot of pre-mine, there could be, millions of coins in the hands of people before the public even hears about the project. And then at that point, there's only a few individuals who control every decision from that point forward. And really no one in the public can have a chance to meaningfully participate. So I'm sure that's a criticism that you've heard.
Yeah, that's a good concern, but it's criticism not addressed to proof of stake as a consensus algorithm, because consensus algorithm doesn't describe your pre-mine. It's a matter of financial part of your project. The huge pre-mine is not safe from any perspective, from the price maintaining, from any perspective. And when I speak about proof of stake, we discuss we can discuss it in ideal conditions. For example, when the initial distribution was created with some proof of work history of the project, like Zano has. We originally had a Bullberry that was created initial coins distribution. Also pre-mine, we have Zano pre-mine, but it's like a 10% of coin emission. Even right now it's smaller. Yeah, there is no way we can make a significant impact on the consensus. But what you say is right. It's a good concern, and I believe that it's a bad thing to have a huge pre-mine from many perspectives, including impact on the consensus. But consensus, proof of stake consensus itself, in a healthy project, in a healthy coin distribution, is the best option we have so far.
Wow, Mike, this is blockbuster.
I know.
I mean, you heard it here. Andrey Damas stating that in 10 years, no Bitcoin, no Monero, no Epic Cash, no proof of work. What do you think about that, Mike?
Well, first of all, I think that their history has shown that there can be significant leaps in computational capabilities that arrive suddenly. And for example, quantum computing obviously comes up a lot in, cryptography discussions, but even without quantum computing, you can have leaps of computational capabilities or aggressive reduction in the cost of computational density, right? So, cloud systems, right? So somebody could take $100,000 and go onto an Amazon AWS platform and build an attack against a coin that has a market cap of, let's say, $5 million. And for $100,000, they could take over 5 million, right? Am I right, Andrey?
Yeah, absolutely. It's even cheaper than you can imagine. It's very easy to calculate. You just see whatever average blockchain project, you see the block reward that they have. Block reward is just a cost that the network spent on the time of the block target. So you see how many confirmation time they have. You just multiply the block reward on these confirmations that needed, multiply it on 2 just to be sure. That's the price of double spend attack. Like in a very simplifying situation. If you apply these calculations, you would be surprised at how easy to target relatively small projects. Like you say, the 5 million market cap, it's like a quite small project.
Yeah.
That's the reason. And we cannot speak about Bitcoin because Bitcoin itself, it's a very unique project, and it's not that easy for Bitcoin because you won't be able to find that much calculation power that easy as for other projects. So we cannot, and a lot of pure proof of work believer, they use Bitcoin as an example, but it's not correct because if you speak about technology, you defend Bitcoin. Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad actually because Bitcoin is something very different, and we have to keep it the way it is, like a historical artifact. And that's the value. But you cannot use Bitcoin as example because Bitcoin is not a technology anymore. Bitcoin is something, just a value that people believe. Bitcoin represents the idea of crypto itself, even if it's not the best technology at this moment in the crypto, right? But it's something that represents the belief in crypto. So that's why it's so expensive. We cannot use it as example.
So it is the church of Bitcoin.
Yes,
in essence,
absolutely.
Right?
Well, I confess I'm part of this church.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I wanted to ask you because I'm just fascinated by your history. How does somebody arrive at your level of skill with all of this? What did you do prior to being educated at CryptoNote by Nicholas? What did you do were you a mathematician? Were you already a programmer?
I'm not I wasn't mathematician and not mathematician at this moment. We have a Val who is doing math type. I'm a developer. I'm a coder. I'm architecture. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing for ages. Originally, my background was before the CryptoNote. My background was security systems, anti-malware systems. That's what I was working in for the 8 years, and that where I learned how to build the network. I learned how to. So originally I was working in Agnitum. That was a Russian company that was building network security projects, and there I learned a lot about networking, about just effective ways to build the network applications. And then I worked in a few other companies that work on the anti-malware projects, and that was also very interesting experience because it's also some sort of rocket science. Yeah. So my background before was related mostly about the security and network connectivity and network security. That's it.
Well, I
Go ahead, Billy.
Okay, I have a question following from that. Thank you. Which is, Andrey, it seems like a lot of the privacy protocols in crypto are now becoming more commonplace, well understood, well documented. And whereas, even 5 years ago, not so much, it was a lot more experimental. But the privacy algorithms and the privacy code and so on is becoming more accepted. So my question to you is, where do you see privacy crypto in 5 years? Or do you see privacy spreading to other projects that are currently not privacy? Or
I hate those questions like that. Thank you for the question. I'm joking.
No, it's fine. We're not going to. it's not totally easy to be on the show. We're definitely going to hammer you with a few tough questions from time to time.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's hard because for me that's hard because for the last 10 years I was watching the history of the crypto, being inside it and being even a little part of this. And any time in the past I couldn't imagine that what it's coming to transform into, because like there is people who say that, oh, I saw it, I predicted this, blah blah blah. No, most of people didn't see it, maybe except very few people like Vitalik, who was a visionary. He has a vision about Vitalik Buterin, about
Sure.
Ethereum, his thing. And by the time that we were coding CryptoNote, Ethereum was just an idea, a paper, and a few publications. And we was like, wondering, who is this guy? What is he up for? And seeing how history of crypto was transforming every I would say every bull run, because every bull run normally is a kick that speed up the evolution of
Next
crypto
year.
technologies.
Yeah.
Every bull run was kicking this, and every new bull run was something new. Every phase is turn it into something different. And I have no idea how it will be transformed in the next 5 years, but what I want it to become is to become more replacement of a traditional payment, more replacement of a bank. So it's naive things to say. Since the beginning, everybody wanted to pay with Bitcoin for the cup of coffee, but right now it's something new, because like for the last 2 years being a Russian, I had a lot of troubles with the banks. Being a Russian who live in other countries, not in Russia, we had a lot of troubles, a lot of payment systems, and banks cut us from the cards.
Oh, I can only imagine. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I have so many cards that was annullated during the last 2 years. What I really want is crypto to be replacing step by step. It's already doing this, and crypto itself is doing a really great job for creating the financial freedom. And once again, being a Russian in a given situation, we felt it how it helped people to solve the simple problems.
Well, let me jump in and just add to what you're saying. And this is why we do this show, Andrey, because we believe in personal freedom and financial freedom and privacy. But you get cut off from Western banks because you're Russian.
Yes,
I get cut
exactly.
off. I get cut off from American banks because I'm a real American.
How come?
From telling the truth. The banks in America, they will do banking like JP Morgan Chase. They will bank with Jeffrey Epstein, pedophiles, child kidnappers, and sex traffickers, but they do not want to bank with Americans that tell the truth about anything.
Well, Andrey, you're speaking with the most censored man.
I am one of the most censored people in America. That's true. Yeah. But solely because, again, we are willing to tell the truth about many issues. And so, but my point is that you are Russian and I'm American, but we're both censored by Western banks.
Yeah.
For different reasons.
So the goal would be for us to all be able to move value privately, anywhere, anytime, any amount, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Including to Russia.
Yes.
If you happen to have family members in Russia and you want to give them a gift, Merry Christmas, you should be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason why privacy is actually fighting with the censorship, because when it's private, it's hard to censor.
That's right.
But wait a minute, Andrey. Anonymity plus privacy plus digital transactions, that certainly means that you just want to do something nefarious, right? I mean, don't you believe that privacy is a human right?
Yeah, yeah, I believe.
Yes. Well,
But
that's our core philosophy here. It's a human
Yeah.
right.
Can I ask about that network attack going back to, that even a small $5 million privacy project, you have some really smart developers there. So in all of these, but I hear you, it's all math. Tell me what your thoughts are, because you are Andre Damas. When the CBDCs are the new normal, don't you think some of these smart people out there, let's call them white hats, don't you think they're going to go after the CBDC network? And the folks who have created those probably aren't as smart as those in private crypto. Don't you think that somehow, some way that there's going to be just an attack on CBDCs?
I think it's a matter of money. If some organization has enough money to attract high quality developers and researchers, they can do okay. There is always white hats hackers who can, or whatever they call themselves, that can find the problems, but it's a little bit different, and I don't have any sympathy to this because I believe that money is something different, and the government normally screw up with the money, the way they operate.
Yes.
So it shouldn't be controlled by government. That's as soon as you have a control over the government on money, you'll have a problems from in many ways. And Bitcoin itself proven that this theory like perfectly, and that's really great that Bitcoin existed and succeeded that much. It's just to bring a perfect example that the general money can exist without any government. It just exists by itself, controlled by mass.
I think also, Andre and Todd, that the key issue that people are going to come to learn is that under a CBDC system run by a government, central ledger, centrally controlled, you, the user, you do not have custody over your money.
Yeah, it's just a joke.
It's a joke, right? It's not even yours. You don't control it. They can cut it off. They can limit everything. So with Zano or Bitcoin or Monero or whatever, as long as you put it in your wallet, take it off the exchanges, you have self-custody. And especially with a privacy coin, like Zano, no government can take it from you unless you give up your seed phrase or your password or whatever.
Right.
But they can't see it, so they can't take it. They can't force it from you. It's kind of like if you have gold and you have gold buried in your backyard, yeah, technically the government could take it, but they would have to come with shovels and dig up your yard. That's a lot of work for governments, which tend to be very lazy. They just want to take your money because they already control it, pretty much. Comments?
Well, I basically agree with this.
So where, Andre, can we acquire Zano?
Yeah.
Like what exchanges?
On exchange, we have a CoinEx right now. It's the best exchange that we have so far.
What's the web address for that?
Coinex.com, I think. Coinex.com.
Oh, okay. Coinex. Oh, okay.
Yes, coinex.com.
All right, we'll bring that up.
Yeah, we have also listed on TradeOgre, but this exchange looks pretty scary for some people. It's like from 2010 or something like that.
I remember first getting into private crypto, and I used TradeOgre a lot, and then everyone started.
So you're familiar with this exchange?
Yeah, everyone started scaring me that it's just a scam. They're gonna, there's gonna be a point where there's a rug pull, and so I hesitated using it, or certainly recommending others to use it. But I thought it was a great exchange. It worked.
Well, until it. Well, the problem with exchanges that we've been listed on exchange that called Stacks, and
Stack
about
wallet?
two
Stacks.
stacks, yeah. And about 2 months ago, the exchange just disappeared with
Oh.
all the money, with
Yeah.
everything. It just disappeared.
Yeah.
We know that that was Ukrainian-based exchange. But all the context was removed from social media. So I think it was a exit scam or something like
Wow.
that.
So what's the lesson learned here? Get your
Yeah.
coins, people, off of the exchanges as
Yeah.
soon as you
Yeah.
acquire them.
What
Not
about
your keys, not your coins.
Not your keys, not your coins.
what
right?
about swap services? Like StealthX or Simple Swap or things like that. Are there swaps that support Zano?
We support atomic swaps, but this technology actually not really. I mean, it's working, but it's not really popular in users. And I understand why, because atomic swap, the classic hash time locked atomic swaps, they always give advantage to one of the parties. And in a modern crypto trading, time is a key, and you don't want to miss the opportunity or get some side. So it's not really popular, these atomic swaps. And that's why what we building in Zana, we build something that we call ionic swaps. It's actually truly atomic operation that runs with one transaction. It's execute and that's done, or it's not. It's way similar, because with atomic swap you need at least 4 transactions: proposal, answer to proposal, execution, withdrawal, right? And with ionic swap, you use it in one single transaction, which should be better. And we trying to build, Pavel right now working on user experience that will be looking similar to Binance peer-to-peer exchange, because we cannot show the order book open way, because it's private. All the transactions are private, so you don't want to know what tokens are exchanged. And if you show it publicly, it will be possible to collect analytics and then predict which transaction actually hold what tokens and what amount. So we created something like we're trying to build something like a peer-to-peer experience, when people when they match each other with what they want to do, they together exchange the keys, and then they together create this confidential transaction. In one transaction, they swap the assets.
That's cool. Yeah. What trading pair on CoinX? Is it a BTC trading pair? Or?
I know that there is a USDT to Zana, and probably something else, but I don't know. I don't trade much, honestly.
Okay. Okay. And let me ask you too. I'm on CoinMarketCap, and it says the 24-hour volume of Zano right now is about $11,000 per day. But is that missing activity because of its privacy nature and the DEX that you have? I mean, is CoinMarketCap even really capturing the activity of the coin?
Honestly, I really don't know.
Yeah, because, okay, fair enough.
Because I'm not following financial part of the project. Thanks God we have Pavel who is handling this part of the project, and
okay.
Yeah, me and Val, we mostly focused on technical side, but yeah, I cannot say if there is missing anything.
Well, no worries. And it's interesting because the price on CoinMarketCap right now is literally 0.9999, which initially seeing that, I would think, oh, it's trying to be a stable coin, but it's actually...
It's funny. I don't know why. I have no idea for what reason, but for the long time, few months, we had the price stick to $1 for no reason, and we don't.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm like, why is it always $1?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea why.
No, I see it used to be like 40 cents and whatever, even just last year, it was quite a bit lower. So yeah, it just happens to be 9999 today. But anyway, funny thing.
But the price behavior is very strange for me. It's never related to what we actually build.
Right.
2 years ago, I think 2 or 3 years ago, when Roger Ver bought our coins, and we met him in Mexico, and we talked with him, and he then put the picture of us in Instagram, our price jumped to the sky, like to the $8. But people don't really care what we actually do.
That's funny. Yeah, but
that
Todd, isn't
amazing?
that kind of what we found too? That it's a lot of the
Yes.
pricing is about the buzz more than maybe what's under the hood.
It's the buzz. It's,
Absolutely.
people don't realize, but in these crypto communities, there's a lot of emotion, right? There's there it's like this ecosystem of, it's a community, right? It's kind of like a big family. And in big families, there's tussles, but then all of a sudden everybody gets motivated and it's rah and all for one. And then there's other times where it's all for one, and you got one person saying, and I'm the one who dumps on everybody. And, but you need to have a strong stomach to suffer through the volatility of really any micro cap, I think. But, I love what I've heard from you, and I intend to acquire some Zano.
Yeah. Me too. I mean, I don't own any right now, but after this interview,
at your own risk.
Yeah, at your own risk.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Financial perspective, do it on your own risk.
I want to play with it and find out more about your hybrid, proof of work, proof of stake approach. I still don't understand the hybrid part of this. Where does proof of work come into play?
Yeah, the only reason why we still have sorry?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just said good question.
Yeah. The only reason why we still keep proof of work, because there is one attack, long-range attacks, that's called long-range attacks, that we don't know how to overcome to solve this problem. So we left a proof of work as a solution to protect us. And the way we build it, so from the long-range attacks, you have to accumulate all this proof of work that's been for a long time. It's not like it's economically not profitable in any way. But as soon as the thing is, the projects like Ethereum who use PBFT algorithm for consensus, for proof of stake, they solved this problem with finality, and that's fine. They're good to go. But we don't want to use PBFT because it requires you to have a validator. So you have to put the additional condition. You have to have a bunch of coins, set up node, or do some like a complicated stuff. And there is a questions about decentralization, because now you have a few dedicated people who are obliged to make a decision for the coins, for the consensus. And we don't want to go this way. So for now, to solve the problem with the long-range attacks, we have a proof of work. But as soon as we figure this out, we'll get rid of proof of work like forever.
Well, Andrey, this is, and we're almost out of time here to wrap this up, but you bring up a really important point, something that Todd and I have also noticed in just many various projects, where overall the project may be about decentralization, but then internally within the project, there could be, for example, concentration of mining, or concentration of holders of proof of stake, like we talked about, or concentration of coders. Maybe just one or two people control everything, all the software, all the wallets, and so on.
That's true.
How do you
That's true.
How do you address this in a relatively small project? It's not Bitcoin, but how do you achieve that redundancy and decentralization internally?
Honestly speaking, I think from this perspective, from the team perspective, Zano is a quite centralized project, because we are quite small. We're just a team of 5 people who, we've been doing this for ages, but we are not that centralized as, for example, if you look into Monero, they right now have a absolutely different, like next generation of developers. And I think Monero is a great example of decentralization of the organizational structure of the project. And because I was speaking with the different people on Monerotopia, and I was asking how you guys doing this stuff, because I see 5 years ago, 7 years ago, it was absolutely different people who was frontman and running Monero. Now you have a different, absolutely different people, the whole new people, and the project still running, and project is fine. and they managed to find a decentralized way of running the project, and I think that's the great example, and Zano will be trying to be more like that. That's what we think is the best way.
Okay, fascinating. Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been able to get really deep into some serious questions here. So, Andrey, I mean, it's been a pleasure being able to speak with you.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
We really appreciate. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a sneaky suspicion that when this comes out, we're not Roger Ver, but I think you might have a lot of people visiting your website and like me. I mean,
that would be cool.
It's like this weekend, I have some research to do. I'm going to figure it out.
Well, me too. And Zano, I put in the category, here's a project that has really innovative technology, very amazing technology that most of the world doesn't know about.
Right.
And it's astonishing to me, the asymmetry of how good tech can be in a project and yet how few people can know about it. But that's also opportunity for people to embrace it.
Unfortunately, there are many projects, underestimated projects in the crypto field. We also met few very talented teams, but the problem of the projects like that is that they have a tech focused teams that are building something with lack of understanding the marketing.
True.
How you have to promote the project, and the Dana for ages, and the Bullberry was like that. I was alone doing this project alone, focused on technology, and always was fighting and reading this negative comments in the chats, and there was a clan wars, like tribal wars, and that's what it is. And with Zana right now, we're trying to change this. We are still tech focused project, but I have a co-founder who is trying to change this, and we're trying to we actually getting more and more people who interested in the project and trying to help us from that perspective. We have a group who is helping to fund us last year, and they helping us with marketing. So we're trying to fix this. I understand this problem, and it's problem for many projects in crypto. And if you not solve this problem, you're gonna die, because a lot of dead projects was good project, but they are now dead because they was not taking care about the marketing, didn't give enough attention to this.
True.
Andrey, do you have
do
you have any group on Telegram? I just think Telegram's really great for community.
Yeah, we have a Telegram and Discord, and we have connected this between each other.
Okay.
Yeah, we have it. We have it.
Okay. So I guess people can find those links.
We have all the links. We have all the links on the website.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Perfect.
So let's do that. Let me give out the website again. Zano, ZANO.org is the website.
Zano.org.
And then Andrey, I just want to thank you for taking the time to join us today. It's been a real pleasure. I mean, fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the pleasure was mine. It was really a warming conversation. Thank you very much for having us, and thank you for interest in our project.
Yeah, well,
you are welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate you, and I know it's late where you are, so have a good night and feel good about.
Yeah.
You did a great job here on the show today.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
Especially for a lead developer to do a little bit of public relations. You're doing great. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Hashtag legend. Hashtag legend.
Thank you for a kind words, guys.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye. Ciao.
Thank you, Andrey.
Thanks.
Okay. Good night.
Cheers.
Join the official discussion channel for this show on Telegram at t.me/decentralizedtv, where you can ask questions or offer suggestions of who we should interview next. Also be sure to subscribe to the email newsletter on decentralized.tv, where you'll be alerted about 1 day in advance of each new upcoming episode, before it gets published. On decentralized.tv, you'll also find links to our video channels and social media channels across all platforms, including Brighteon, Rumble, BitChute, Twitter, Truth Social, and more. Check it all out at decentralized.tv. All right, folks, that was Andrey Sabelnikov with Zano.org, and I'm just so blown away. I learned a lot of things here.
Wow.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Todd?
Well, my thoughts are, I have to share with you. Nicholas Van Saberhagen, when you go out and you do the research, there's a lot of people out there who thinks he is Satoshi.
Yeah. I was.
And right. Then there's a lot of people who think that Andrey is Satoshi. So I
wasn't aware of that.
Yes. That he might be both.
I
don't think so at all.
No, I don't think so. He already said the code was too, mathematician-like,
exactly.
but
exactly.
Nevertheless,
but it's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It's fascinating. And I mean, we hit upon so many really important points in this interview, and he dropped a bombshell. And what was his prediction? Really? That there wouldn't be viable proof of work projects after
in 10 years.
10 years, right?
After 10 years.
And that's a big bombshell. And actually, frankly, this is the first time that I'm starting to understand the big vulnerability of proof of work on smaller projects.
Right. Why do you think that somebody, I'm not going to say smarter than us or nefarious or anything, but why do you think there hasn't been some attacks then, Mike?
I think it's just a question, because really, if you can apply computational power to a smaller project, then you can achieve double spends, essentially, right?
Yeah.
But what's the value of the double spend on a very small project? So if you think about it, if you could double spend, let's say, Firo, what would you do with it? Okay, you could send it somewhere, you could swap it for Bitcoin, you could extract Bitcoin out of a double spend. But on the smaller projects, you can only get away with a certain amount before you're cratering the price of that project.
Ah, there you go.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So the computational power that you apply to it has a limited payoff.
So one would need to be smart enough to identify the attack vector, but patient enough until that $5 million market cap might be $100 million, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because I think the minute you start to unleash a double spend attack, you're going to start, red flags are going to start going off at the nodes, and people are going to start investigating, and then they'll probably roll out possibly even a hard fork, and everybody, changes the software and fixes whatever that was.
Yeah.
But if a project is more like, 100 million in valuation, but I think, Todd, this comes down to the daily liquidity. If you're going to do double spend attacks and then offload those coins, you have to do so in an environment of high daily liquidity.
You do, yeah.
So that you don't get noticed before you're offloading a bunch of money.
Correct.
Is my guess. I mean,
that's why Monero still to this day is the king of private crypto. And I mean, today I was talking to Alex, our good friend. We interviewed Alex and from Monero, and they did $4 million on Kraken in Monero in the last 24 hours. That's a lot of liquidity.
Yeah. That is. Yeah. Monero, first of all, Bitcoin is almost impossible for anybody to attack with computational power, right? Because you'd have to have warehouses of specialized servers. But as Andrey pointed out, that's a rather unique situation. There's nothing quite like Bitcoin, right?
Right.
Monero in the privacy space is the closest to that.
Yep.
And I don't know what kind of computational power you would need to achieve, to break consensus and achieve double spends in Monero, but I would imagine it's something quite significant.
Yeah. But what I got out of the interview too with him is he's very impressed with Monero and their devs.
Yes.
Their teams, and that they're really working on next, generational type tech. Yeah. So that's encouraging too. It's just
absolutely.
There's so many smart people in this space.
And I thought it was great too that Andrey, he wasn't wanting to attack Monero.
No.
And I wasn't trying to bait him into that, by the way. I was just wondering about what are the distinguishing properties that set your project apart.
Yeah.
But I liked his answer, which was, we're not here to bash Monero. I mean, we're fans of Monero.
Yeah, we're not versus, he said.
Right, exactly. And
Yeah.
that was the same attitude that Ruben had from Firo as well.
It
It's
is.
like, okay, Monero is the giant in the privacy space. And
Yeah.
even as Andrey said, it's a decentralized development environment inside Monero. And it turns out that a lot of these developers do collaborate with other projects.
Right.
Like
and they
Zano.
should.
Yes. I think that's
and they
great.
should, because ultimately, as we discussed at the beginning, it's about, the goal should be about how do we move value privately, period, in a story.
Yes.
You know?
Right. But it's still not clear to me what are the strong differentiating factors of Zano, versus Monero, right? So, I mean, the argument would be like, okay, let's say I'm using Monero right now. Why would I want to diversify into Zano? Why would I use Zano? Like, what's better about it? And I don't know the answer to that yet, but then again, I need to dig into it. Yeah.
I have an answer. It's not going to be a lot, but it's going to be something, because I really want to support the project.
Oh, true.
And it's I loved his passion for privacy, and I love his commitment and his whole history. It's all been about, privacy centric protocols and what that can do for humanity and freedom. He used freedom several times, and I love that. And so I think we need to support projects like that. And who knows? Here's the other thing, Mike. It's just, crypto's crazy. You never know when you diversify and you have a little bit, across several, when one just really takes off.
True.
Not financial advice here, folks, but micro caps have a much greater opportunity or chance of being able to do that 10x or 100x thing than Bitcoin or Monero or any of these large projects.
Well, I want to address too, I think an advantage of Zano is the fact that the lead developer, Andrey, is Russian. And let me explain why that is. See, I think that, the American empire is authoritarian, tyrannical, punitive. And if American developers are well known on any project, Monero or otherwise, and this is one of the reasons why it's hard for us to ever interview developers, because they're all hiding, for all the right reasons.
Correct.
If there's an American developer that were a lead developer on a project, the American empire, this tyrannical, lawless government, can pressure them, debank them, threaten them, audit them, whatever, shut them down. Whereas, here we have Andrey living in Europe, he not in Russia, but I don't want to say where he is, but he did tell us before the show. But the American empire can't touch Andrey.
Right.
And that's actually a key advantage. And same thing's true, with Firo, right? So Ruben is in Malaysia, right? He's in Malaysia.
Correct.
So, the American empire is going to have a hard time suppressing a Malaysian citizen or frankly, someone in, let's say, Japan or someone in, I don't know, former Soviet republics or maybe Poland or places like that, right? So I kind of tend to like projects where the key developers are not located under the control of the American empire.
Right. Well, and I think the mysterious Nicholas Van Saberhagen, nobody knows who he is. Again, from my research, it's like he is very, very mysterious. So, but that's because he had the forward vision. Same with Satoshi, right? You cannot pioneer this privacy technology without a bullseye on your back.
That's right.
By us, America.
Yeah. And frankly, I think the Western empire
has
the most to lose from privacy crypto, because the Western empire runs the whole global business model of the Western empire is to print fake fiat currency and then use its military to project power onto other countries. And crypto makes that less, viable, that whole model.
Yeah.
Because if countries can trade with each other Well, I mean, frankly, I guess we could get into the BRICS currency project as well, right? So
Yeah.
the BRICS nations and what they're coming up with, which, as I understand, is supposed to be a gold, not a gold backed, but a gold priced international transactional currency used by Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, right? Brazil, Turkey, India, and many other countries. That when that actually goes live, who needs dollars for those transactions, right?
What do you think when they come flooding back to America? What's going to happen to food inflation, Mike?
$50 hamburgers is what's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I bought a quarter of a cow. Already, it's in my freezer.
That's why I'm planting a food forest in my backyard.
That's right. I mean, you're going to be going to the grocery store. First of all, there's going to be mass looting of the meat section of the grocery stores. So you're going to have flash mob looters.
Yeah, with the pants to the ground, with the big old pant. You were talking about it on your podcast.
I was, yeah. I was like, are you happy to see me, or is that a side of pork ribs in your pants? Yeah. But that's shoplifting in America. They'll just go in with baggy pants and then they'll just grab like a side of beef or pork and shove it down their pants and just stroll right on out.
Mike in California, they don't even have to shove it down their pants.
They can just walk out. Yeah. Walk away. No one's chasing you. No one's even prosecuting the shoplifters.
And when I don't even think the workers can try to stop them. They'll get fired. They will get fired.
Right. So, but I mean, I got to mention this. What retail operation is going to maintain any store in a California city?
None.
Like nobody.
Well, the ones that'll be subsidized, they'll become government grocery stores, right?
Oh boy. Line up for Soylent Green. Yeah.
Exactly. I remember the story. My wife, she's Russian. She told me that, during the Soviet Russia time, that they got meat 2 times a year. They could go to the Russian controlled grocery stores, and the 2 times a year was, I believe, November 7th, which was their Veterans Day, I guess. D-Day, I don't know. And then the other one was because New Year's Eve is such a big deal. They could buy meat on New Year's Eve.
Wow.
And the funny thing is the way their mind processed it, because when you can't have something, you just kind of make other things up, right? And the narrative was meat is just not good for you. So it's a good thing that the government is giving us rations.
That's what we're hearing in America now too. That they're saying meat's not good for you or good for the planet. But gosh, I know vegans who have meat more than 2 times a year.
I know.
It's like, vegan most of the time, except on barbecue day,
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of barbecue, and this has to do with privacy, so it's back on topic, but did you see that the New York Police Department, you probably heard me talking about this, they announced that they're going to have drones monitoring the backyard barbecues of people who have.
You gotta be kidding me.
No, they're going to have drones. Like if you have a gathering in your backyard in New York City, they're going to dispatch police drones to watch you and spy on you. That's New York. I mean, this is a dystopian sci-fi hellscape, rolling out in real time.
I mean, it's just crazy. It's just like you can't write this, but then Orwell did, or 1984.
Yeah,
it's like Back to the Future.
No, it's crazy because if they have excess drones to monitor people's barbecues, why don't you send those drones to the border? I mean, there's something we could monitor there that would actually matter, which is illegal border crossing. But instead, it's like, no, let's spy on people's backyard barbecues and swimming pools and whatever.
Yeah, because child sex trafficking, Mike, it's just it's minor in comparison with CO2, and methane,
or grilling brisket in your backyard or whatever you're cooking up there, your $50 hamburgers.
Goodness gracious.
But
no thanks.
This underscores the need for privacy, which is why we love to have interviews like this today with Zano. I think, the privacy tech is really moving forward rapidly. Wouldn't you say so? Just from the people that we've interviewed?
Oh my goodness. Yes. And continue to stay in touch with.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That they keep developing, and there's just new nuances to certain projects, and there's others that are just really slow and steady playing long ball.
That's right.
That's Vero, right? I mean, he's just steady Eddie and has his eye on the prize, and man, just working their tails off to operationalize their vision. And it's going to be an exciting next, I'd say 18 months, Mike.
I absolutely. I think so too. And hey, while we're thinking of it, let's do a couple of plugs, but let me start by asking, your consulting service now, which we announced a few weeks ago, your consulting service is getting a lot of traction, and the website for that, folks, is decentralizeddirectory.com. But tell us, Todd, you've had several clients and you've had some real success stories, but tell us what that service is all about.
Sure. It's time to become independent and self-reliant. And I have multiple strategies, but one in particular that is worth the price of admission all by itself. It's a tax advantage strategy. And I will tell you, Mike, initially when we were promoting it, it was kind of more about being able to get people into private crypto and coach them in and whatnot. But what I found after the first week of the website being launched is I was turning into a crypto help desk.
I lost my seed phrase. Can you help me?
No, the best one was this guy saying, hey, here's my cell phone. I need you to call me. I only have a little bit of time, but I have a dead treasure that I need to figure out how to resurrect so that I can connect it to my MetaMask and find my lost crypto.
Oh my!
I'm like, oh, not this guy. I can't do that. But the I will tell you that the folks that I have consulted with that have booked an hour with me, and that's what I ask: book an hour with me, and then I'm going to give you keen insights. But out of all of them, I'm batting 75% of these have when I educated them on this tax advantage strategy that lets them keep what they earn and protect their property and assets and protect their progeny's wealth,
right,
to where you escape death taxes and things like that. And it is something, it is a vehicle that has been out for the last 30 years. It's what the elite use.
That's right.
And I have had my own for the last 3.5 years, which is why I'm so passionate about it, because I can testify it works. It is the best investment, Mike, I've ever made, was 3.5 years ago.
And I think it's extraordinary. Yeah. And for real, folks, this is something that can change your life and help you preserve your assets and also transfer them to the next generation. But if you're going to be handling any significant amount of crypto, you need to do it inside this vehicle, and it's worth the hour to talk to Todd and find out about this.
Let me tell you, Mike, as you know, I spent 5 weeks with our friends at Kraken to get them educated to what this vehicle is, so that they would bless it, right? Because I wanted to be able to connect my bank account for my nonprofit. It's what this is nonprofit, to Kraken, because it's tax exempt. And so if you think about you onboard crypto, or if you're in crypto already and you need to off ramp it, that's the only time that crypto becomes a taxable event, right, Mike?
Right, that's right.
But when you off ramp it into tax exempt status, well, you guys do the math. It's
exactly
worth the price of admission.
But this is, when you say nonprofit, but this is a special structure that I had never heard about. But now that you have started to bring it up, I'm fascinated by it. I'm going to have to dig into it a little more myself. But it's a legit IRS recognized structure that's used by the wealthy elite.
Yes,
frankly.
Yeah.
It's a secret.
And it is a secret. And the reason why nobody knows about it is those of us who have it don't want to talk about it. You just don't want to draw attention,
Yeah.
But but it is, and I have the gentleman that creates these, that gets them certified, that goes through the IRS and gets everything tax exempt status. And we've been in contact over the last 3.5 years. He's been great. And he has given me the opportunity to be the representative, the sole representative on this. And because he told me, he said, Todd, I can do about 25 to 30 of these a month. And he goes, I just want to do that. I don't want to go find the people that need them. And I'm like, that's what I'm here for. I think we can help a lot of people. And the other thing is, with my consulting service, I give you access to Kraken, the team that we went through to create all this, and you'll get white gloves treatment. They'll know what's coming. They'll know how to manage it, and so it's just so cool. It's just so cool, Mike.
That is very cool. Yeah.
There are other service providers, product providers and such that I've developed pre-negotiated opportunities for those who become part of the decentralized directory family. And lastly, I'm just going to say, Mike, is the directory is going to continue to fill out as I start meeting other folks dedicated to decentralization and freedom. They're going to be added to the directory. So those who consult with me, and it's never going to be more than an hour, because once you're part of the family, you're part of the family, you're part of the network. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's well worth checking out, decentralizeddirectory.com. And also, Todd, the person that I've been trying to reach to connect to you, they've responded. So we'll talk about that after the show.
Wonderful.
So yeah, we're going to be able to connect them. Let me plug the redpillprints.com, which is, they've created these shirts and hats and mugs for the show. If you go to redpillprints.com/DTV, it'll bring these up. Yeah, there's one of the shirts there, the decentralized TV shirt. You can kind of see it. And the coffee mugs and hats and things like that. Now, folks, we don't earn anything on this. This is just solely, we're helping to support a business that's making these, and they do accept crypto as payment. So we like to support them. And so anyway, redpillprints.com/DTV. And then, Todd, if you don't mind, I've got something really fun just to plug, something I've been working on.
Please.
And you know about this. It's these new knives, which are made in America. So I co-designed these, well, it's 4 knives, but we only have 3 here so far. And these are amazing. And Dawson Knives makes these, but I've made a lot of little tweaks on the design. And these are made out of Magna Cut alloy steel, which is almost corrosion proof. But it has high Rockwell hardness, 60 to 62 on the Rockwell scale. And it holds an edge. It can bend. The swords can bend up to 70 degrees without shattering.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy. So this is a revolutionary alloy. It's got a G10 handle. And you may not have known this, Todd, but it has 3 points here that are kind of holes on purpose on the knife. So you can use paracord and you can strap it to a stick and you can make a spear out of all of these knives. Right. And this is the bushcrafting knife, which has a different blade shape there for bushcrafting. And then the sheaths are made out of carbon fiber inlaid into Kydex for extreme rigidity, and so that they don't break and shatter. And you can use on the back, you can switch it up and do a vertical draw or a side draw, and then you can switch them left or right. So it's fully functional for lefties as well. And these are available right now at my online store, healthrangerstore.com. And survival is part of decentralization, right?
It is. Yes,
there we go. Getting the reflection right there, trying to show that blade. But
wow,
you got to have gear in order to survive. And this is the kind of thing that will last you a lifetime.
Yeah, that's generational.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're not going to accidentally break this. It's not like kind of a made in China cheap, steel knife. No, it's not that.
Now, Mike.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to show me my knife that I'm going to get. Escape from.
Well, I don't have it here. I don't have Escape from LA. Yeah.
Oh,
that's in production right now. No, we have.
Can you describe it to me?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, so the 4th knife that I'm coming up with is called Escape from LA. And it's a knife to allow you to escape a city during the collapse. And it has it's larger than this tactical knife, by the way. It's even larger than this.
Okay.
And it has a prying function plus a blade. The prying function is designed to break open, doors like elevator doors or window latches or doors, car doors, things where you're trapped because the power has gone out or there's been an EMP attack or whatever, or the zombies have come. And so it's designed, it's a pry tool, but it doubles as a survival knife and a utility knife. So that's coming out in about 6 weeks. And I will reserve one for you, Todd.
Thank you.
I can't wait to show it.
That's all I want for Christmas, Mike, is I want to be able to buy your knife.
All right. Well, first of all, you don't have to buy it. This is going to be your Christmas present then from us here at Brighteon. You'll get Escape from LA knife.
Oh, you guys are great. Thank you. But I'm happy to buy it. I've already budgeted for it.
No,
Mike,
that's quite all right. I'm just happy. I've been giving these away. I have a bunch of them here. I've been giving them away to guests and staff members too. But look, the bottom line is, I don't want to get too far off topic. We spent too much time plugging already, but it's just, folks, when you watch this show, Todd and I are real people. Yeah, we're into privacy coins and we love talking to people like Andrey, who was amazing. But our redundancy and decentralization extends into many other areas of our lives, right? Like your food forest, Todd, or the sprouting and container growing that I do food at home, or the knives, or financial asset protection, like what you're talking about with your consulting.
Right.
So we live this stuff. It's not just crypto every day, all day long. It's also knives and assets and food and all these other areas.
Yeah.
Gear.
Yeah.
Keep you alive.
And the best thing going on here, Mike, is waking up and saying, you know what? I want to go find people out there just like me. And those people are the ones that are watching this show, Mike.
Yeah, we have a great audience. Yeah, thank you for watching and thank you for sharing. Yeah, we appreciate you so much. And we're thrilled to be able to do this show.
Yeah.
And to get these amazing guests on like Andrey is just unbelievable. And the guy really is a legend, and he, you're kind of making him blush a little bit there, I think, but what he's already done in his life is extraordinary. Yeah,
it is. It is. I hope he got my joke. He probably didn't get the joke about the Clintons. It just hit me that
no, he may not have all the political background of the shenanigans in the U.S. empire, but anyway, our audience got the joke for sure. But no worries. So Todd, let's wrap up this segment, show today. An amazing guest.
That's great.
Solid discussion. Zano, I'm going to be checking it out. I will probably acquire some coins and use their wallets like I typically do, test them out, kind of see how it works, see what's going on. But I'm going to lose sleep now over the whole proof of work question because I'm concerned about vulnerabilities of smaller projects, and how do we defend against that?
Yeah.
Or how do those projects better defend? The answer is on a proof of work project, the answer is you got to throw more work at it, more servers, more computers. That's how you defend.
Or more algorithms, right?
Well, that would require some, hard forks and some real code changes. But which is really what Zano did. Proof of stake can't be beaten with computational power.
Right.
It's like rock, paper, scissors, artillery, you can't beat it.
And a fifth one, Escape from LA.
Escape from LA. Yeah. Well, we'll make that a part of the show. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't wait to do that. It'll be fun. All right. So anything else, Todd, before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I just have one last question for you, Mike. Your dog always knows when we're about to wrap up. Is he getting a little antsy?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
No, he hasn't wrapped it up.
Okay. No, man, this was great. Again, I find Fridays to be a blessing because of you and this show and our guests. So thank you again for inviting me way back when to be a co-host here. I'm just so proud to be here and happy.
We're thrilled to have you
with
here.
What we're doing.
Yeah.
Happy with what we're doing. We're accomplishing a lot, I think.
I really look forward to every Friday when we can do these and the amazing guests we have on. So it's a blessing. And thank you, Todd, for all your contributions as well.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, that's the show for today. And thank you all for watching. Of course, Todd Pittner and Mike Adams here, decentralize.tv. Go there for links to the Telegram channel and for, breaking news announcements, whatever, and other episodes that you may have missed as well. We're currently putting out 1 to 2 episodes a week. I'm trying to increase that speed, by the way, Todd, to get more episodes out there. And it's been very challenging this week in particular.
Yeah.
But we're going to get more episodes out the door. We've filmed quite a few that you haven't seen yet, by the way. But these are timeless. It's not talking about current events. So it's going to apply, like the interview today. It's good for years. I mean, it's what he said, timeless observations and wisdom about cryptocurrency. So anyway.
Oh, I think it's going to be a very popular interview. He's a legend. He just is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And I hope he comes back. I hope he wasn't offended by our Clinton jokes or whatever.
He seems like a cool dude.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. He's just focused on the code. He's not really about politics. He's not reading the news every day. He's doing his thing, which is why he's one of the best in the world at doing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Frankly,
he's troubled by things that I'm just not, Mike. But that's why he's a legend, and I'm just decentralized.
He's probably happier than all of us because we do read the news, and it's like, oh my God, what horrible thing is it?
I know.
He's probably much happier doing code than the rest of us.
I do have to just give one shout out.
What? Okay. Yeah, go for it.
To Nancy. Nancy, I did a consultation with yesterday. What a lovely lady. 74 years old, wanting to be able to protect her assets and get into private crypto. And she was sharper than anybody I've ever met other than you. I mean that. She was so sharp.
Wow.
And
good for Nancy.
I know you watch this. She has fights with her, she calls it her Marxist family, and they won't allow her. All she listens to is you and this show and just Brighteon, right? And she was saying that her family, her Marxist family, on a recent vacation would not allow her to listen without earbuds to your program. So Nancy, we love you. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Well, I think we all know other Marxist people, family members, friends, whatever.
Yeah.
And sadly, those Marxist people also believe in fiat currency, which means they're going to be left holding zero.
She was saying they think I'm a nut job.
Wow.
That I'm an absolute nut job for worrying about any of this. And that she's just going to get totally scammed by crypto. And I'm like, no, you aren't.
Well, the mainstream people, they also think gold isn't money, but dollars are. I mean, that's how stupid they are. They're going to be left holding nothing, while people who bought gold or silver are going to be just rolling in riches at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
it's crazy.
It is crazy.
I asked her if her Marxist family were up to date on their boosters, and she goes, "Oh my, oh yes." extra jabs for them. Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah. No, I put out. I mean, again, we don't try to make this show very political, so I won't go too far. But I did put out a tweet yesterday. Oh yeah, look, he knows the show's over. He knows it. He knows it. Hey, hold on, let me get him off.
Love it.
I've got like knives on the desk here. Come on, Rody. Hold on.
That is classic. Rody, I love you.
He's good, but he wants to play. He
the
wants
mascot.
to play. Hold on a second.
He's the mascot.
Yeah, he gets antsy.
So fantastic.
I just don't want him jumping around with all these.
Well, we better let you and Rody go.
Yeah,
Mike.
but hold on. Just let me finish that thought. So on that tweet, I said, pretty soon we're going to have people who are locking themselves in their homes, wearing 5 masks and taking 10 jabs, and not ever venturing outside into the rest of the world. And I said, can we please do this all the time? Because I think it's great if those people just lock themselves in their homes and never come out. I mean, go for it.
The traffic.
The traffic.
Relief.
Yeah. Parking. I mean,
yes.
Buying groceries. Think how much easier society would be if all those mask-wearing lunatics just stay home all day, every day.
Perfect.
And just start turning pale, looking like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. You know, it's my precious. It's just while the rest of us are enjoying sunshine.
It's my injection, my booster.
Yeah, precious boosters. Yeah. Yeah, please stay home all day, every day for the rest of your stupid life. Yeah, we would appreciate that. Okay, anyway, we'll wrap it up there. Always uncensored as usual, but we'll wrap it up there. So thank you all for watching, and thank you, Todd. It's been fun.
All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Cheers.
All right, take care. Yep. Thanks for watching, folks. Decentralized.tv is the website, and check out all the other episodes you may have missed because they are similarly uncensored, by the way. So check them out. Thanks for watching.